This video contains mild Season 7 spoilers, mainly speculation. It is known that in Game of Thrones Season 7 we will get to see a bunch of major characters interacting with other major characters for the very first time or for the second time in ages. But who will meet who? And what will that meeting be like? I will tell you what I think about my top 5 character reunions. You're now watching Because Geek. Jon and Tyrion. Jon and Tyrion's relationship is one of the most genuine ones on Game of Thrones. It was born out of a mutual appreciation and then later on, respect. There's not enough of those to go around in this show. And with that being said, I was thinking that whenever they do meet again, they will probably get along just great. But what if they don't? What if that relationship is too good to be true? The reason I'm saying this is because of recent news that say that Tyrion will potentially develop feelings for Daenerys. And this might create a rift between these two characters when Tyrion realizes that he's not liking how close Jon is getting to Dany. I think that would be a very interesting conflict. Tyrion would want to advise Daenerys on how to be the queen of the Seven Kingdoms, but if he gets her there, she would need a king. And what better candidate than Jon? So who knows, maybe jealousy gets in the way. I will say that I do hope that's not the case. I don't know if I would like to see a petty Tyrion. I like witty, happy Tyrion much more. That's what I want to see. So I hope Jon and Tyrion do get along and become a really good team instead. Cersei and Euron. Oh yes, I really want to see the dynamic between these two. They both want the throne, but they both need an ally. Who will betray who first? And who will get used by whom? Will Cersei impress us for once? Or will Euron play her like a fiddle? I can already imagine Euron trying to seduce her any second that he gets a chance, and I feel like he may actually be successful. I don't know, I feel like Cersei hasn't been given enough sexy scenes with how much of a hottie she's supposed to be, and they will probably need something like that to continue to increase that rift between her and Jaime. This has got to be the season when Jaime finally falls out of love with Cersei, and I feel like Euron getting in the way would be perfect for that. Maybe that episode 3 description that says Jaime learns from his mistakes means that he will stop being so loyal to Cersei once he finds out that she slept with Euron, while she sent him away to fight. But also, when I picture it, I think a scene where Euron and Cersei share a first rough kiss would be quite hot. Jorah Mormont and Lyanna Mormont. Can you imagine how hilarious it would be to see this fierce little girl giving Jorah one of her badass loyalty and honor speeches? I think that would be priceless. And I think that if these two characters do meet, it will happen. She must know who he is and what he has done. Her family must have told her. She must know the reason why this Mormont got exiled. I do wonder how shocked Jorah would be. I mean, I'm sure all or the majority of Mormont women are as fierce as Lyanna, but the last time Jorah saw her must have been when she was a baby. Or maybe she wasn't even born yet. But I think it would be cute to see that recognition surprise in Jorah's face if he knew her as a baby. What I don't like to think about though is that Lyanna may not be happy with him at all and won't want him near her. But who knows, maybe Jorah will be able to prove himself this season to yet another lady. The Hound, Arya, and Brienne. Okay, so this is a three-way because the last time all three of them met was so good. I guess we could make it a four-way with Podrick, but it's Podrick. He never does much. I do think that will change soon, but that's not what we're talking about here. First of all, I think Arya and Brienne would meet each other first at Winterfell. I think Arya would apologize to Brienne for not believing her and for not going with her last time. And it would be very satisfying to finally see Brienne earning the trust of both of the Stark girls, which is something that she has been trying to do for so long. I think her and Arya would probably develop a mutual respect for each other as well, since they can both relate on that tough girl way of life. But then let's bring the Hound into the picture. Both Brienne and Arya would be shocked to see that he's still alive, after they basically saw him die with their own eyes. They will probably ask him how the hell he survived, and he may just say something like,
"Apparently the gods have some fucking plan for me."
Or,
"I'm a bloody big fucker and I'm tough to kill."
And if Arya messes with him,
"Aye, maybe I'm just tough enough to kill a little girl."
What if Arya tells him she's no one?
A girl has no name, eh? Well, the girl's about to have her bloody entrails dragging across the carpet.
Nice. Very nice. I think him and Arya would immediately get along in the way they used to, but the relationship between him and Brienne would be a rough one. That also makes me think of a quote we heard from Gwendolyn Christie recently, which I thought would have to do with Tormund, but it could also have to do with the Hound. She said, "What's recurrent in Brienne's life is forming relationships with people that start with an opposing force, then a begrudging mutual respect, and out of that, a deep respect and pure love." She also said, "That happens again this season. Brienne will realize a deep alliance." So I don't know what will happen there, but that's something I really want to see. Gendry and Arya. This right here is what shipping dreams are made of. Gendry and Arya had one of, if not the best, underlying romantic relationship in the entire show, when they were both basically completely inexperienced kids, except for maybe the smithing skills on Gendry, but you know what I mean. Can you imagine what it will be like to see them both interacting again now that they've both grown so much? I mean, sure, we haven't seen Gendry grow, but I expect that he has. Joe Dempsey showed up at the Season 7 premiere in LA a few days ago, and confirmed that he will be back in Season 7, which, if you had seen some of the leaks, is not very shocking, but still very exciting. The question is, though, if they do meet again, will Arya still be holding a grudge against him for wanting to stay with the Brotherhood instead of with her? Or will she get over it from the excitement to see that he's still alive? Because as you might remember, the last Arya saw of Gendry was when he was being taken away by Melisandre, which is why Melisandre was on Arya's list temporarily. Yeah, for some reason she wasn't on her list anymore, but after seeing Gendry alive, she won't have to be. Since we know that Gendry is potentially part of the team of people that go beyond the wall, specifically the one holding this warhammer, I had come up with this crazy theory that maybe, when Jon is planning out this mission, Arya would offer to go with them, and Jon would of course forbid her to come in order to keep her safe. No matter how much she's grown, she's still his little sister, so that wouldn't be surprising to see. But I think that if Arya really wanted to go, she would go anyway. She would probably wait until Jon heads out, and then follow them closely behind. I think that Arya would then run into a dangerous situation where she could potentially lose her life, and then they could have Gendry find her body, and have a scene that could rival Hodor holding the door in sobbing levels. There's a line in the books that could be foreshadowing something like this, when Jon says jokingly to Arya that when the spring thaw comes, they will find your body with a needle still locked tight between your frozen fingers. Yeah. Or, if you don't want to go that dark, maybe Gendry saves Arya. And thanks to that heroic act, he's named the new Lord of Storm's End, like he deserves to be. Who knows? I don't think it will happen exactly that way, but it's fun to go beyond safe speculations sometimes. If you're wondering where I found a recording of Rory McCann saying those lines, well, I just have to give a huge shout out to my fellow Canadian, the crazy talented Steve Love. He was the one you were listening to. And if you didn't know, he's that comedian guy whose Game of Thrones impressions earned him a cameo in the show. Yeah, this cameo right here, where he got killed by the Hound. I will leave a link to his channel, Dr. Steve Love, in the description. You should really check out his stuff. I particularly loved his Jon Snow's first drive video. It's so good. Go check it out, and thank you so much, Steve. Obviously, I'm excited to see the Stark siblings reuniting, as well as many other reunions, but these 5 were the most interesting to me. Which characters are you most excited to see reuniting, or meeting for the first time? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you like this video, click on the bell to not miss my next upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Here's some honorable mentions for other reunions. Jaime and Bran, although I think that would happen in Season 8. Jon and Benjen, Daenerys and Melisandre, Nymeria and Arya, Gendry and Jon, Jorah and Jon, and of course, Arya and Jon.